Hello everyone, and welcome to this brand new YouTube channel. In this first series of videos, we're going to be talking in detail about PAX Pamir 2nd Edition. This game was designed by Cole Worley, and specifically the single player game, which we're going to be focusing on, was designed by Ricky Royal. I like this game a lot for a lot of reasons. I've played it dozens of times now at all player counts and really think that it shines at each of those player counts. I really do like the solo experience a lot. My preference here is to play solo board games against an AI opponent instead of your traditional score optimization single experiences such as Agricola, for example. And I particularly think that this AI is really well implemented. It seems very lifelike as you're playing. It oftentimes makes decisions and choices that I think a real human player would make. So I'm excited to show it to you. Perhaps you own this game and you've never played it solo, or you were intimidated by the rules, which can be a little bit finicky at times. So that's why I'm creating this series, so that hopefully you can visually learn how to actually play with the Wakhan, the AI, and dive in. I encourage you to do so. I guarantee you will make some mistakes or miss some rules, but regardless, it will still be fun, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to this channel. It is new. We're planning to do a lot of videos in the future, and please leave some comments about what you liked or didn't like. And with that, I'm going to get the game set up, and I will see you on the other side. All right, welcome back everybody. So in this video, we are going to do a playthrough of PAX Pamir 2nd Edition. We're going to play it solo, so we're going to play against the automated AI known as the Wakhan. We are all set up here for a two-player game. Now, if you're not familiar with the Wakhan, then you might want to check out our other video first. The first video in this series actually breaks down each of the Wakhan's rules and talks through how she interacts on her turn and how she's different than a human player. But if you are familiar or you just want to jump right in, then let's get started. So we have the market set up here. I went ahead and selected an initial loyalty of Russian. Now I did that because there is a Russian patriot here, but also there's 2 Russian prizes available. So let's see how she plays out her first turn. If she purchases this, then we might want to make some other considerations. But with that, she does take the first turn. Now, the first time we encounter something new, like an action for her or her turn start, we're going to go through it in a little bit more detail than we are later in the game. So, she flipped over her first card, and basically this walks through from top bottom how she's going to conduct her turn. So here you see the first thing she's going to look to do is tax. Well, since this is the first turn of the game, she obviously does not have that action available to her. She has no court cards, so we just skip that. Next is Betray. We're going to skip that as well. And finally, we come to Radicalize, which is the bottom action on all of these cards. And basically, it means that she's going to buy a card from the market and go ahead and put it immediately into play for one action. So the way we determine which card she's going to buy is we look at the 2 arrows on the right card and where they line up to the left card. So first, we see the red arrow is looking at the top. So it says top here. So she wants the top card from the market, and the black arrow is pointing to 2. So she wants the card in the 2 spot of the top row, which is this one here. She has 2 rupees, so she can afford it. So she's going to go ahead and pay up, buy this card here. All right. And this is going to do a few things. So she puts it right in her court. That's part of the Radicalize action. And it's going to put 2 roads in Kabul, as well as a spy on a Kabul card. Well, she's the only one with a Kabul card in play, so the spy goes on her card. The climate is already political, so that doesn't change. So now we're just going to deploy 2 roads in Kabul. Now, the way we decide which coalition the roads are going to belong to is we look at the top of her action card here, where it says Pragmatic Loyalty. And you can see that the leftmost icon is Russia. However, because we're loyal to Russia, she actually skips that faction, and she moves on to the second one. So the roads are going to be British roads, and they're going to go in Kabul. Now, Kabul is adjacent to 4 different regions. So we have to make another decision here, and we have to know where she's going to put these roads. So to do that, we use the bottom of this card. And basically, these symbols line up with each of the regions, and we just go left to right. So the first symbol is Kabul. She's obviously not going to be able to put a road from Kabul to Kabul. So we skip that. The next symbol is the circle, which is Punjab. So her first road will go there. And the third symbol is the square. So the second road will go to Kandahar. And that is her first action. Her second action, basically, once we've gone down the list, we just start back at the top. So the second action she wants to take is tax, and now she actually has that action available to her. So she's going to go ahead and tax. Her preference is to tax players. However, she doesn't currently rule any regions. So she has to tax the market, and she's going to get the 2 rupees back that she just spent. So overall, not a terrible turn, Wakhan. All right, she's not eligible for any free actions, and her court size is obviously okay within its limits, so it is now my turn. We're going to go ahead and slide down these cards, refill the market. All right, so I think we're going to continue with our plan here. We may just purchase the card for now and not actually play it yet. I also have my eye on this Punjab card. It puts out a tribe in Punjab, so we would rule that, which is nice. I think what we'll do is we might purchase, let's see here. It's nice that she's putting out British armies at this point, because if we were to switch factions here now, we'd already have 2 British armies in play, which would give us sort of a head start. So I think what we'll do is maybe buy a couple cards, but keep them in our hand for now, not actually play them until we see what she does on her next turn, and then we'll actually commit to a coalition and see how that works. So I think we're going to buy the Persia card here, this one here, and not play it yet because we're not sure we want to switch. And then we're also going to go ahead and buy the Punjab card because we don't want her to rule Punjab. All right, so we've purchased 2 cards and we have nothing in our court, so we're going to go ahead and just refill the market. Oops. And it'll be her turn. Okay, so it's her second turn. We're going to flip over the next AI card, and it says, if no coalition has dominance, which is true, radicalize the card that would place the most spies or tribes. So she has $4, 4 rupees. So the card that she can afford that would place the most spies or tribes would be this one here. It's going to put 2 spies out. So she's going to go ahead and pay a rupee and buy this card. So this is a Kandahar card. It puts out 2 spies. It also has a special ability. When another player removes your spy in battle, you may place it on this card instead. So this is going to get added right to her court. And according to this red arrow, it's going to go to the right side of her current court. So it goes right there. She's going to put 2 spies on a Kandahar card. This is her only Kandahar card. So that's her first action. Her second action if military cards are favored. So they are not. So we're going to skip that. So her second action is going to be just a basic radicalize. And if we look here, she wants the bottom card in the 0 position. Now, normally that would be this card here. However, the rules from the base game apply, whereas she can't pick up this card because she put a rupee down here already this turn. So instead, what we do is we just look at the top one, and she wants this card here, which actually is a better play for her because it gets her 2 rupees. And it's going to switch the climate to military. So it puts a road out, and it switches the climate to military. So let's go ahead and deploy this card to her court on the right side. We're going to change the climate to military, and she is going to put out an Afghan road in Kabul this time. So you can see that her pragmatic loyalty is Afghan for this turn. So she's going to grab a road and put it into Kabul to Punjab. Just like that. All right. That's her 2 actions. She has no free actions here, so she's going to go ahead and just end her turn. Her court size is okay. So we'll refresh the market. All right, so I was hopeful she would put out another clay marker of British, but she ended up putting out Afghan. So let's see if that changes our strategy at all. All right, so in this case, we still have 2 cards in our hand. And this is the current market. So I think we want to at least start to get some cards out into play. Ruling Punjab seems like a good move. I'm not sure we want to be British. Let's take a look here. It is nice, though, because we get $2 more. It gives us the tax action, which we would rule Punjab. We'd be able to potentially tax her in the future. So why not? Let's go ahead and put out both of these cards. All right, so the first one we'll put out is this Punjab card. It's going to put a tribe and an army in Punjab. Actually, the first one we're going to put out is this card, obviously, which changes our loyalty to British and puts out a road in Persia, like that, as well as gives us $2 extra from the bank that we just leveraged. So we now have 3 rupees. The second card will be this one. We will put out a tribe in Punjab, which means we now rule Punjab, and another British army. The first, actually, army goes in Punjab. So I think overall that was good because now we're very close to dominance with the British. Let's see how her turn plays out. So the market's all set. We have no free actions. And here we go. All right. Radicalize the card that would put the most armies and or roads. So let's take a look. Let's remember that the climate is military. So these cards are all twice as expensive. She currently has 5 rupees. So she can only buy these starter cards here. So the most armies or roads, there's a tie in what she can buy between this one, and this one. So whenever there's a tie, we basically just buy the cheapest one. So this would be the card she purchases, Herat. It's going to go to the right of her court. It was free. All right, and it puts out a army. This time it will be a Russian army in Herat. So you can see her pragmatic loyalty this turn is now Russia. We're no longer loyal to Russia, so she puts out that army in Herat. That was her first turn. Her second action, she's going to If no coalition has dominance, which is true, radicalize the card that would place the most spies or tribes. So now she has 6 rupees. So she can go all the way this deep. But it looks like the card she's going to pick is going to be this one here, because it puts out 1 spy, and it's leftmost of the ones that she can do. So she's going to spend 2 rupees. And purchase this card, Punjab. Now, I rule Punjab, so in order for her to play this card, which she automatically will attempt to do to the right of her court, she's going to owe me a bribe, a rupee, which is great. So we'll slide her court down, put this card out. That costs a rupee, and it puts another road, another Russian road in Punjab, and also a spy on a Punjab card. Now, there are multiple Punjab cards into play. She has one, but I also have one. So the way that you determine where this spy is going to go is you actually look at the player aid card that was included in the game, and it says here, general card priority. So her first priority is to put things on opponent's card, which makes a lot of sense. She wants to kill my Punjab card, so she's going to put her spy right there. She's also going to put out the Russian road in Punjab, and it's going to go from Punjab to Kabul based on these symbols. All right. She now has free actions. The climate is military, and she does have a military card in her court. So the way that free actions work is basically you go from left to right of the cards until you run into one that has a free action, and then you go left to right of the actions until she can do one. So the first action here is tax, and that's the action she's going to do. She doesn't rule a region, so she's just going to tax the market for 1 rupee. And that's her free actions, and now she has to discard. So she has 5 cards in her court right now. She can only have 3. So we once again reference this card, the bottom part this time, and this outlines the order of priority in which she's going to make her decision when she has to discard. So you can see here, she doesn't want to discard political cards or patriot cards. She has neither, so we keep going. She doesn't want to discard leveraged cards. She does not have any. Most player spies. None of my spies are on her cards, so she's going to keep going. Fewest spies. Okay, so now we know she's not going to discard either of these 2 cards. She's only interested in discarding these 3. However, since we need to only discard 2, there's still a tie, so we keep going. Lowest rank. All of them are rank 1, so we keep going. Not matching favored climate. Okay, she doesn't want to discard this one because it's giving her free actions. So she's going to go ahead and discard both of these cards, and that will be her turn. Let's refresh the market. It is our turn. So she's beating us in the cylinder game. She has a spy on our political Punjab card, which makes us a little uncomfortable because if she were to battle there, which she does have a battle action on a military card. Oh, one other correction. This falls off. So that's actually pretty good for us, speaking of what we were just talking about. So this is going to move back up here. And now she doesn't have a free battle action. So these are all going to slide down. Ooh, and our first dominance check. All right, let's see how this would play out. So right now, there's no dominant coalition. So she would score 3 points if that dominance check would be purchased because she has the most cylinders on the off of her player board. Now she only has 4 rupees, which actually is a lot. She can purchase up to this card. So what we don't want to do on this turn is make this more accessible to her, ideally. So we want to avoid the top row, and we want to try to swing the dominance check in our favor. The way to do that is we can either try to deploy 3 cylinders, which I think is going to be pretty difficult. It is. Or try to put out 2 more British cubes, British clay pieces, so that we then have dominance and we now have the most influence, so we would actually score the most points. So if we look at the market, although I said just now we weren't going to try and do it, I think this is the card we're going to buy. Let's double check. Our other option would be to build. We can build in Punjab. We currently rule it. We have 4 rupees, so that would put out 2 clay and not make this card any cheaper. So let's do that. Let's pay the 4 rupees. And put out 2 British armies in Punjab. Okay, that was our first action. And now the British have dominance, which is good. So for our second action, we will pick up. We have no money. So our options are one of these 2 cards. Unfortunately, they're both patriots of coalitions that we don't want to be associated with. So we're going to go ahead and just buy this card. It's going to give us the 2 rupees, and we'll just keep it in our hand and likely never play it, discard it down the road. So these all slide down. We do have a patriot card, so we would have a free action. However, we don't have any spies out, so we're not going to use the betray action. So it's now going to be her turn. We're going to go ahead and flip over this action card. And it says, if Wakhan has fewer than 2 rupees, so she doesn't, she has 4 rupees. So she's going to skip that. And actually, before we even get started here, let's reference this flow diagram. I like to reference this every time there's a dominant check in the market because her turn does change slightly, specifically her radicalized actions. So I talked about this, I spoke about it at length in the first video in the series, but if we go through here, we can see that the Wakhan has just started her action, and the first question we come across is, can a dominance check be purchased to score the most VPs? So there's 2 questions there. Can a dominance check be purchased? In fact, yes, it can. She has 4 rupees. She can afford this dominance check. So the next question is, would she score the most VPs? And that is actually no, because right now we are loyal to the British, who have the most, who have dominance right now. So she wouldn't score the most VPs, so she skips that. So if we go down, it says, is the instruction an unqualified radicalized? So now we start to look at the card. And the card says, if Wakhan has fewer rupees than 2, she doesn't. So the next is build, which she does have the build action available to her. So the answer here is no, it's not unqualified radicalized, it's actually build. Are the conditions for the action met, and can the action affect the game state? Yes, she can. Actually, no. The answer is no. She doesn't rule any regions, so she can't conduct a build. So we go back to no. Is the instruction an unqualified radicalize? Well, now it is. The last instruction on this card is radicalize. So we go yes. Is there a dominance check in the market? Yes. Is there a dominant coalition? Yes. Can a patriot of the dominant coalition be purchased? So her interests here are to try to gain influence before I score with this dominance check. The answer, however, is no. There's no British patriots available in the market. So we go back here, no, and basically this big block of text is the default rules for radicalize. What it means is we just look at the arrows. So we're going to go top card, 3rd spot. That's a valid purchase for her. So she's going to go ahead and pick up this card for her first action. And it's going to put 2 spies on a Persian card. This goes to the left of her court. 2 spies on Persia. Now, the way that her spies work is that she first wants to focus on cards where she has no spies at all. So, and then after that, she uses this priority. So you can see that the first spy is going to go on my card, which I do have one, and then the second will just go on hers. So one spy there, one spy here. That does give her a special ability. It's the same special ability that she already had. And that was her first action. So we go back to the card. Now she still has 2 rupees, so she's not going to do this first one. Build, once again, she doesn't rule any regions, so she's once again going to radicalize, and because she's already put rupees on the top row, she is going to spend the remainder of her money to buy the third card in the bottom row. However, she can't afford it, so she's just going to pay to get this card here. Once again, it goes to the left, and it puts out a army, a Russian army in Kabul. Okay. And it also has an ability. Interesting. So I can't betray any of her political cards, which she currently doesn't have any political suit out. So that means she also doesn't have any free actions because the climate is political. So we have to just discard down to 3. And once again, we're going to take a look at this. We already know that she doesn't have any patriots, she doesn't have any political cards, and her motivation is to keep her spies. So the 2 cards she's going to discard are going to be this one and this one. So we'll go ahead and do that. And that concludes her turn. We will now refresh the market. All right, do we want to buy this dominance check? So first and foremost, we only have $2. So we no longer have dominance in British. So again, I think our strategy remains the same. Let's try to deploy some cubes, some clay, so that ideally this dominance check, actually I think we can still make it happen. Maybe, no, we can't do it this turn, but next turn, hopefully the game state stays the same. We're gonna go ahead and buy this Transcapia card, which gives us a rupee, and it puts out 2 clay in Transcapia. All right. So that was our 2 actions. We do have a free action available to us. However, we don't have any spies out, so we can't betray. So I think our turn is over. We're going to slide these down. This is becoming cheaper. She has no rupees. Let's see how it plays out. So I'm going to flip over her action card. She's going to first try to radicalize an intelligence card. So there is only 1 intelligence card in the market. She can't afford it, so we skip that. Next is move. She does have the move action available to her. So since this is the first time we've encountered this action, let's go ahead and refer to the move rules for the Wakhan. Essentially, this is saying that she will only move armies, so she's not going to move any spies, and she doesn't need roads to move them. And what she's really trying to do is move her armies to a region where I have a tribe. So if we look here, the first thing we want to assess is who is she loyal to this turn? And if we look back at the pragmatic loyalty, we skip the British because that's who I'm loyal with. So the answer is Russian. So she is assessing the map from the Russians' perspective. And here you can see there actually is a valid move for her. She would want to move this army in Kabul to an adjacent region in Punjab because I have a tribe there. So essentially she's going to try to kill this tribe, which would not be good. So she was able to do that first action, which is move. The second action she's going to try to do is radicalize. Again, she has no rupees, so she is just going to grab the bottom card in the free spot, which is right here. Transcapia. And it goes to the right of her court, and it puts out a road in Transcapia. Now, one thing to note, some of these cards have colored armies or roads. Those are there to aid the human players, to remind us, hey, this is a patriot, and you may not want to play this because it may switch your loyalty. For Wakhan, she completely ignores the color here, and she always falls back to her pragmatic loyalty, which in this case is Russia, so it didn't really come into effect, but it's one thing to keep in mind. So she's going to put a Russian road in Transcapia, and that road is going to connect Transcapia with Herat. Okay, that was her 2 actions. She has no free actions, and once again, she has to discard. Well, now things change a little bit because this is a patriot. So let's refer to the player aid. The first thing she wants to do is not discard political cards. That's fine. She doesn't have any, but she isn't going to discard this patriot now. Okay. Non-leveraged. She doesn't have any leveraged cards. Most player spies. I don't have any spies on her cards. Fewest spies. So she's not going to discard this card. It's down between these 2. Lowest rank. They're both rank 2. So we continue to go till we break the tie rather. Non-matching favorite climate. Neither of them do, so it's going to come down to lowest card number. So for that, you just look in the bottom corner here, and you see that this is an 8. So this is the card that she's going to actually discard. All right, so this discards. And now it is our turn. We refresh the markets, and we might be able to get some points here. All right, so let's assess the game state. We are still dominant, the British are, so it seems like a no-brainer that we would buy this dominance check in the market. Okay. British are dominant. We have the most influence. We have a base of 1 plus a patriot. She has a base of 1 and no patriots. So we are going to score 5 points, and she scores 3 points. Right there. All right, so 5 points for blue, 3 points for red, and now all the clay gets returned to the box. All right, clay has been returned to the box, and now it is our second action, which, looking back at the markets, I think we're going to go ahead and purchase this card here. It would be great to have the option to do some battles. So we'll pay 2 rupees, buy this Kabul card, deploy it to our court. And it puts out 2 Kabul spies. This is the only Kabul in the game. This is also great because we're putting out 2 cylinders, which now that there's no dominant coalition, the next scoring round could be cylinders, so we're trying to catch up there. It's putting a British army back in Kabul, and it's changing the climate to military, which isn't ideal because things are going to be expensive, but that's all right. They're going to be expensive for her too. So that concludes our turn. We don't want to use our betray action, or we can't rather. So we're going to just go ahead and refresh the market. Another dominance check. All right, let's see how that plays out. So for her turn, radicalize the highest ranked political card. So that would be this one, which she cannot afford. She only has 1 rupee. So basically, we're going to skip that. If military cards are favored, so they are, radicalize the highest ranked military card. So there's one right here in the first spot that she can afford. So this is the card she's going to grab. It goes to the right of her court. It is going to put out a Russian army in Transcapia. just like so, and changed the climate to intelligence. All right, so that was her first action. Her second action is going to be just a normal radicalize. Here she wants the bottom card in the 0 position. However, she just grabbed that card, so she's now going to take the top card in the 0 position, which gets her more money. Once again, goes to the right and changes the suit once more, which is unfortunate because she would have gotten some free actions here if the suit climate wasn't going to change, but it is going to change once more to political, which she does not have any of those, so she doesn't get any free actions. We're just going to do her discard. She has to discard 2 cards. We know they're not going to be these 3. She doesn't like to discard spies. She doesn't want to discard her patriot, so it's just going to be these 2 here, and that concludes her turn. We'll refresh the market. Okay, it's our turn. We have 1 rupee. We're doing pretty well. We have 3 cylinders out where she has 5, and we only have 1 clay out. So I think ideally what we would do here is try to get rid of this spy. I'm worried she's going to use it soon to either do, well, she doesn't have the betray action, so maybe it's not as concerning as I thought. However, obviously anytime we return cylinders is a good thing. So I think if we use these 2 moves and then this battle, we could at least kill this spy. Let's see if there's a card in the market we'd prefer. So 2 more clay on the board is nice. And actually I do like some of the actions there, but they are all overlapping. We already have those actions. Another another Patriot card would be great, and this one actually would give us the ruler token of Transcapia. So I think we're going to take a gamble and go ahead and buy that one. We do have a rupee. We're going to buy this card, put it into play, and put out 2 tribes in Transcapia. So now we rule Transcapia and Punjab. And that was our turn. We have a series of free actions. We have no money to do the betray. And we do have a battle available to us, but nowhere that's eligible to use it yet. But that tied us up in the cylinder game, so we're pretty happy with that. All right, her turn. Now this dominance card is now in reach. She can buy it. So let's go ahead and refer to the flowchart one more time. We're starting her action. I'm going to flip over her action card now. Okay, we started her action. Can a dominance check be purchased to score the most VPs? So the answer there is yes, it can be purchased. She can afford it. However, she would not score the most VPs, thankfully, because of what our last turn actually just deployed. So she would skip over that. We're tied now. Is the instruction an unqualified radicalize? Well, let's take a look. The first instruction is tax. So she's instead going to do that. She does have the tax action available to her. She doesn't rule anywhere. So she's just going to take 1 rupee from the top of the market. All right. So now the second action is if military cards are favored, they are not. So she's going to radicalize. Is the instruction unqualified radicalize? Yes. Is there a dominance check in the market? Yes. Is there a dominant coalition? No. So now you can see that her priority has shifted a little bit. She's not going to just radicalize what the arrows show. She's going to radicalize the card that would put out the most spies and tribes. So she has a lot of money. She has enough money to buy any card in the market. So the card that would put out the most spies or tribes is this one right here, 2 spies. So she's going to spend 3 rupees. Oh, you know what? One correction. This event fell off last turn. So gifts are not worth influence. That's not a problem right now. But this card just got cheaper for her. Okay. So she's still going to buy this card, but it only costs her 2 rupees instead of 3. It gives her another ability, which is you do not pay for Persia cards in the market. Interesting. So that's something we're going to have to try to remember. This goes to the left of her court. It puts out 2 spies on Persia cards. So the first one is going to go here because there isn't a spy. And the next one is going to go on ours because once again, the card priority, her first priority is to put it on an opponent's card. So she's going to go ahead and put it there because her other Persian cards they're all tied with 1 spy. So that was her 2 actions. And you can see what that did was that swung the dominance check into her favor. She now has 7 cylinders out, whereas I only have 5, but she does have to discard a card. So let's see how that's going to play out. She's not going to discard this card. She's not going to discard this card. So she is going to discard one of these 2, and the tiebreaker is once again going to go down to lowest card number, which would be this one that she just picked up. So one of her spies actually goes back to the map, or to the player board. Okay. That was her turn. All right. So we are losing the cylinder game by 1. We have 5 out, whereas she has 6. So we're not ready to commit to this dominance check because this time she would currently score the most points. We also can't afford it. We have no rupees. So I think our first action is going to be a go ahead and conduct this battle that we had planned for last turn. So at least we can get a tie for cylinders back. So that's our first action, it's a battle. Our second action, there isn't an available card that would give us any additional cylinders onto the map. So I think since we don't have money, we're either going to make a purchase here or we might conduct a move. Yeah, we're going to do, because this is free currently, so we're going to take out another battle, another cylinder, sorry. So we're going to conduct a move here as our second action, 1, and then we're going to use this. We only get to utilize 1 battle, but we're at least going to take off some cylinders. So now we're actually winning the cylinder game. Unfortunately, our turn's over. We can't purchase that dominance check. And we also don't have any money. So it's her turn. Let's see how that plays out. If political cards are favored, they are. Radicalize the highest ranked economic card. So in this case, she's going to go ahead and grab this. Now, it is worth noting that if we were to refer to the flow chart, she's interested in that dominance check, or at least she has a chance because of Wakhan's ambition to purchase it, but it won't score her the most VPs. Since she's now losing in the cylinder game, she's not going to purchase it. And instead, she's going to go ahead and radicalize this political card. Now this goes to the right of her court. And it puts out a tribe in Persia, which she now rules. And it changes the climate back to intelligence. Okay. So now if we were to do Wakhan's ambition again, can a dominance check be purchased to score the most VPs? So once again, she has the money to afford it, but now we're tied with cylinders. So it was a good thing that we did what we did our last turn, because she's not going to buy that dominance check because we're tied. So she's going to radicalize the highest ranked political card. Well, oh, I'm sorry. Let's rewind just 1 second here. That I didn't see that top one said economic card. Okay, well actually so we have to put this back. Put that back, put this back, put this back. Okay, that first action was undone because this actually says economic card, so my bad. If political cards are favored, radicalize the highest ranked economic card. So she has $4. She gets her dollar back. She has $5, and she's going to go ahead and buy this card here, rank 3 economic card. So that's actually her first action. 1, 2, 3. All right, this is going to go to the right of her court, and it puts out a lot of clay. So this turn it's going to put out Afghan. That's her pragmatic loyalty. 3 roads in Kabul and 1 army in Kabul. So 1 army and 3 roads. So if we look here, the first road is going to go to Punjab, then Kandahar, and then Herat. Okay, that was her first action. Now her second action. Radicalize the highest rank political card. Okay, so now she's going to do what we did the first time. She's going to grab this card here. It goes to the right. She's going to change the climate, put out a tribe in Persia. She now rules Persia. All right, so free actions. This is the favored climate here, intelligence. So she does have move. Now the question is she going to move? Yes, she is. So the reason why is, if you remember, she's going to try to move armies into adjacent regions where up to the number of tribes that I have. So here I have 2 tribes. She only has 1 opposing army. So since her pragmatic loyalty this turn is Afghan, she's going to move that there. So that was her first free action. Her second free action, she can't afford to build. So that's her turn, and she has 1 card too many. So she has to discard. She doesn't discard any patriots or political cards. So neither of these or any spies. So she's going to discard this card here. All right. Our turn. Let's see if we're able to somehow pull this off. Okay, so we're tied on cylinders. Ideally, we would deploy 1 cylinder. We have no money. We don't have enough money. Otherwise, I think we could have made it work. Let me just see. We could tax. Let's see. Tax free. I think we can make it work. So the first action we're going to do is this one here. We're going to tax the market for $2. Then we're going to take a free action. And we are going to do a battle on this card, returning this cylinder. So now we're in the lead on cylinders. And we can now afford this dominance check. So we're going to pay $2, purchase the dominance check, which scores us another 2 points because we are now have 5 cylinders out. She has 4. There's no dominant coalition. So we go up 2 more points. She goes up 1. All right. I'm sorry. We go up 3 more points. Yep. She goes up 1. So we are winning by 3. We need 1 more point to pull this off. Let's see if we can make it happen. So that was our entire turn. We're good on court size, so we'll refresh the market. All right, and now it's her turn. Her first action is going to be to try and tax. She does have that action available to her on this Transcapia card. She does rule Transcapia, and I do have Transcapia cards. However, I have no rupees. So she is just going to take this rupee here from the bottom. That was her first action. Her second action is to betray, but she doesn't have that action available to her. So she's going to radicalize, and she wants the bottom card in the second spot, which she can do. 1, 2. This will be the card. It goes to the right of her court and puts out an army of Russian loyalty in Kandahar. Okay. Those are her 2 actions. Once again, we assess for free actions. Now, she isn't going to... she isn't going to do it. Oh, she is going to do a move. So here we see that she has a Russian army in Kandahar, and her pragmatic loyalty is Russia right now. So she's going to move that to Punjab. All right. That's her free action. She can't build because she only has 1 rupee, and she needs to discard. So once again, this changes slightly. So she isn't going to discard political cards. She isn't going to discard patriots. So the next thing she's going to look at is spies. So in fact, this is the card she's going to go ahead and discard, the one that has the fewest spies. So that's not helping her cylinder game. Okay, let's refresh the market. All right, so what are we trying to do? I think we're content for now with leaving the clay as it is, and we want to try to get more cylinders out. We're winning the cylinder game by 2. I don't think she's going to be able to get dominance anytime soon with the Afghans. You never know, though. But ideally, we would put out some cylinders and also burn through some of these cards in the market so that we can get another dominance check out. So I think the first thing we're going to do is just buy this Herat card so we can get some money. That gives us $4. Are we going to play it? No. We're going to put it in our hand. And the next thing we're going to do is buy this Kandahar card, I believe. Again, to get some money and start burning through some cards in the market. All right. So that goes in our hand. All right, free actions. So we do have a move and a battle. We are going to use the battle in... Oh, no, we're not. Unfortunately, we can't move our British army anywhere because there are no British roads. So that could be a goal for next turn. Establish some roads. Okay, we are going to end our turn then. Our court size is still okay. Our hand size is not. We have 3 cards. So, it is okay. We do have an intelligence card. So, with 3 cards is okay. We'll refresh the market. All right, the third dominance check. So can we purchase it to win the game is going to be the question for the next turn. Let's see here. First, Wakhan goes. So she only has a rupee. So we know that if we were to reference the diagram, she can't buy that dominance check. So we're just going to start to look at her options here. If Wakhan has fewer spies than another player, she doesn't. She has 2 and we have 2, so we're going to skip that. Battle on the highest priority court card. So we have no overlapping spies, so there won't be a battle. So she's going to instead radicalize. And now, because there is a dominance check in the market, and there is no dominant coalition, she's going to radicalize the card with the most spies or tribes with her 1 rupee. So that's going to be this one that she's going to purchase. Transcapia. Unfortunately for her, we rule Transcapia, and she has no rupees to pay the bribe. So she can't play this card, so it's going to just get discarded, which is great for us. And now she's going to go back through her flow chart, radicalize again, and she has no rupees. So instead of radicalizing the card that would give her the most tribes and spies, since neither of the ones in the free spot would do, we just look at her card, the red arrow, and she's just going to grab the market card from the top, which coalitions require only 2 blocks. Uh-oh, that's interesting. That is really interesting. So what this says is coalitions require only 2 more blocks in order to be dominant. So earlier, how I said it was unlikely that the Afghans would gain dominance, well, they just have. And she has more influence. Obviously, I'm not loyal to the Afghans. So this could be very interesting. Let's go ahead and see how that plays out. We will repopulate the market. All right, our turn. So our new priority now is to obviously return some green clay to the box or deploy. We're really behind with the British, though. We would have to deploy 2, well, that's not terrible, 2 British clay. So let's see. I think what we're going to do is play this card that we got last time from our hand. That deploys 2 clay, and it's free because we already own it. So let's go ahead and start there. Action 1, 2 British clay in Kandahar. Okay, they no longer have dominance. And now, I think we should be able to win the game. Let's see. So we can afford the dominance check. Yes, we're going to do it. $3. We buy this dominance check, and because there's no dominant coalition, and because we have 5 cylinders out, whereas she has 3, we score 2 more points. So she almost made a comeback there. This event almost put a wrench in things, but luckily we were able, it was too late to play it for her, and we were able to come back. All right, we were able to pull off a win there. Hopefully you found this video helpful in terms of how the Wakhan works and the various resources that are available that will help streamline her actions and really make the playthrough a lot more easy to manage. As you can see, that game only took an hour, which is one of the things I really like about this game. It sets up really quickly, and then it plays. I can usually get a solo version done within an hour. So if you did like this video, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Click the thumbs up, as I do intend to shoot a few more in this PAX Pamir series, just to give you some more examples of gameplay. I will catch you next time.